Moving ahead, we have our next keynote presentation by Mr. Badal Dixit, founder and managing director of Pearl Quest Interactive. Now, Badal's keynote title is Applying VR in the Fitness and Wellness Domain. The stage is all yours, Badal, for your keynote.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Thank you everyone for staying back. I think mine is the last presentation. I'll try to make it as informative as possible, and hope to do my best. I'll just share my screen if everyone can see that. Is that fine, Bridget?
Yes, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay, so today, my topic is about applying VR in the fitness and wellness domains. Why this topic? There are a couple of reasons. In most of the conferences and forums which I have attended or which are going on out there, online, offline, of course, we are talking on very meaningful subjects like how the experience can be better, which other domains is it being applicable to, how is it revolutionizing the training and simulation industry, the learning and education domains. One of the reasons why I've taken this topic is it's very dear to me because I see great potential in it. We have done some experiments, some projects, which has given me this moment of almost an epiphany that it is going to grow like crazy in the future. And of course, when I talk of something like fitness and wellness, a lot of people have spoken this time on healthcare, on other areas, but we want to see the scale and the span of this industry. That was also one of my one of the reasons why I gave this topic. So a little bit, I would like to talk about us. So we have been so-called extending realities since 2013. We started off as a digital out-of-home company back in 2013, but that morphed us back into interactive experiences for events and exhibitions. We are based out of Dubai. So Dubai is a city which always embraces new technologies. They always want to try something new. And so is Qatar, as we see the great developments there. So we kind of morphed into from digital out of home to interactive experiences for events and exhibitions. And that led us to getting into XR because it is the best way of interactive media and interactive sort of engagements, right? So we've done various bespoke projects. So we are not only focused at fitness and wellness, although that's my topic and that's where I probably want to be in the future as a product offering. But we've done various projects for location-based VR and AR experiences, and that's right from the days of the Oculus DK2 to now with Quest 2. And of course, at the same time, from the beginning, we've seen a great potential in the XR industry. So we have tried to be as much as possible at forums like these, at how you see us at the XR Summit, Qatar Summit, and then places like Infocom, GITEX, ISE Amsterdam, IoTX, and these all tech shows where this technology was at the forefront. We always tried to keep it at the forefront. So we've been really evangelizing this a lot. Now, let's talk a little bit about XR beyond gaming and entertainment. So if the technology definitely is accelerating, it's growing at CHR 35%. In this region, it's at 37%. It's been an incremental growth. So it's projected at 125 million, like say by 2024. And it's always seen as something giving a positive impact. Although the market is fragmented, but these are all the reports which are showing some tremendous growth in various markets and cross domain, cross industry, and all across the globe. So the point of the slide is that XR is not only about gaming and entertainment. Every industry is now realizing that it can give a different impact. Now, I'll spend a few moments, although we've had some amazing speakers today and yesterday, there are people who are way more qualified than me, but I had just done some research on how VR affects the brain. And there's a reason when we talk about fitness and wellness, the brain, which perceives the world, the actual reality, which you experience every day, in VR, how VR and the brain activity kind of gels together. So Dr. Mayank Mehta, who's a neuroscientist at UCLA, he said that the brain's activity can be turned on without drugs. He sees some fascinating possibilities for neurological disorders to be treated using VR. And basically, he said there are VR related treatments which will become mainstream, which we don't have to really wait for further R&D, and we can actually treat these ailments using VR. He's been doing a lot of studies on rats and a lot of research, but that has led him to this discovery and this assurance that VR can affect the neurological system in a way that it can turn it over. And also, with like research shows that neuroplasticity, learning, memory, things which we never expected some sort of a technology interface to do, can be achieved using VR. Now, again, the reason why I'm talking about all this is because fitness, in the further slides, you'll see why fitness is related here, and it's sort of a correlational activity when we talk of the brain and fitness together. So VR is to an extent at the moment where it can boost brain rhythms, which is amazing, which is another fascinating thing to see. The other thing is VR definitely can trick the brain. Now, those who have played the Richie Plank experience, I think there's a lot of people from HTC, so they were promoting this so much during last trade shows. This is quite an old game now, but this gave this indication that how the brain is being tricked. Those of you don't know this game, there's an elevator door, like as soon as you put on the headset, the elevator door opens and you are on a very high storied building, and all you see is just like outside. So if it was real, you would have just fallen and suicidal. It's crazy. The way it's made, it's beautiful. It's really amazing. There's a plank. You're supposed to balance yourself on the plank. And the fun part is, very well, you're consciously aware that this is a game and I'm just wearing a headset. But when you walk on it, there is no way you can convince your brain that this is not real. There's just no way. And it's not just about the Richie Plank experience. People have put their hands into fans in the ceiling. They've ran over furniture while they're like, I've myself done it. And I have to listen to from my wife sometimes still when I was playing Beat Saber and I ran into the furniture, and that's a different story. But yeah, the idea is that the brain can be pretty much tricked as if you're in the real world. So that's another fascinating point about how the brain gets tricked using VR. And that leads to some really very functional and positive treatments like Alzheimer's, ADHD, depression. So it's an effective brain treatment is what is being discovered. There are so many applications, so many research level and practical studies where it has actually come across as a perfect brain treatment mechanism. And if you really compare it with the traditional methods, this is very cost effective, and it can be it can go through different advancement stages, right? Because it's all about content. So the way you can tailor the content for every specific usage, sky's the limit. So so it can actually be an effective treatment, and that's what is the whole the brain-body connection. So in health and exercise, now I wouldn't call myself as the most prominent in this field, but the research has said that health and exercise is all about the brain and body connection. So if you are doing exercise, or if you're doing a fitness regime, how your brain functions matters a lot. Your mind, how it's engaged, matters a lot. So that's where is the connection between fitness and the brain. So we are not looking at this as another technological shift or another fancy gadget out there. We are actually talking about VR fitness as a paradigm shift, because it's not about only a new innovation in the gym technology or a new mobile app or something which tracks or analyzes your fitness behavior or your fitness activities. Here we are talking about actually immersing yourself and complementing with all these other technologies, right? So it's not just about being another gadget, but it's a different way of treating fitness, right? So the other point, I mean, why am I reinforcing this point is because there actually is a VR Institute of Health and Exercise in California and the US, where they the whole objective of this organization is to rate fitness VR games based on how they stand in a specific activity, whether it's, say, walking or number of calories that get burned, or it's in a specific category like, say, elliptical or resting or whatever. So imagine their whole objective is to rate, and it's become like this audit or a governance body, which makes sure that the fitness VR game that has been made is up to the mark and it has the perfect application rating. So you see how serious this industry is and where it is going. So at the same time, it's not esports, because when you talk of esports, it's only your visual and auditory senses that are pretty much engaged, and it's still different from complete immersion, right? Although your mind is absorbed into it and you can spend hours and hours in it, but it's not something where your body or your physical you're occupied totally physically, right? It's still a 2D interface. It's something which you are involved in. I mean, of course, there are esports and VR combinations also, but you're talking about VR fitness as an industry or VR fitness as an application. So it's not esports. It is like esports, or it is based on some sort of gamification and game design, but it's not esports. And what has really revolutionized it is the headsets, because over the years, like this first picture which you see is maybe like 40 years back, when they were doing VR at the stage of research and development, and this was not even giving, say, 3 degrees of freedom. It was just absorbing your visual senses completely. It was the first step, but then we were talking about 6 degrees, 3 degrees of freedom. In 6 degrees of freedom, we were again talking about sensors and base stations, and it was amazing. There's no doubt about HTC Vive. We've most of the applications which we've done were for the Vive, but what Quest 2 did has really changed everything, because now we have a $300 untethered wireless headset, very lightweight. It's out of the box. Someone was saying that I shipped it to my grandma, and even she could get it. Like, she could start wearing it and start playing games on it. So Quest 2 has made a significant impact in the fitness industry, not just in the gaming and entertainment, but how fitness is now perceived using VR. So that Quest 2 was great. Now, why do we have to even consider VR for fitness? So let's look at these few points here. You are generally bored and burned out. Let's face it. I mean, hats off to the people who are serious about fitness and who make it a point, who are committed and who do it themselves or who take up coaching. But let's think about it. Like the general audience, like general people, are they do get bored and burned out when they go to a gym. They would generally never sustain, and they will never continue their gym package to maybe a month or more. And I mean, I could be a good example, because I have just across my house one of the best gyms in Dubai, and I don't have a membership, but it's like a free membership on my credit card. But you know how many times I've gone there? Just not even once, actually. So let's face it. But yeah, gyms do bore you, do burn you out. Normal fitness regimes burn you out. Competitive edge, because when there is some sense of competition, like Beat Saber has a leaderboard, a global leaderboard, regional leaderboard, it entices you to do better than your fellow players in the region, or maybe you want to go and be in the top 10 in the world. So this is very easy to do, to have leaderboards and to have a sense of competition when that game or when that fitness activity is being done in VR. So this is another great point, which otherwise in a boot camp or where will you do it? You'd probably do it in a sports setting. There are no barriers. That's another great point. Like in some countries, you can't really, I mean, it's not about discrimination, but it's difficult for getting to a fitness regime. Like it's maybe they can't afford a coach, or they can't reach the gym, or there are not good gyms. But all these barriers of gender, of anything, are broken here, because all you need to do is just put on your headset and you're ready to go. The other thing is convenience and privacy, which is kind of related. But then just imagine if sometimes people don't go to the gym because they feel embarrassed. Sometimes they feel it's just not convenient. But all those barriers are broken when we talk of VR, because again, you are not your identity and your status code doesn't play any role when you are inside that VR environment doing that fitness routine. The other important part is analytics, because there are sensors, trackers, great technologies now with haptics, where literally your body parts can be analyzed based on your fitness routine, and it will tell you whether which part of your body is weak or how it's performing, whether you need more strength in your arms, whether you need to focus on those exercises more. So analytical data really helps you steer forward in the perfect direction of how your fitness levels can be worked out, which generally a coach would do, or you need maybe a physiotherapist to do, right? And another great thing is the new developments happening in the not just in the VR space, but in the content space in general. So if I am in a particular environment, I do exercises in that 3D environment for a month, I can always get new environments, and the game developer or the application developer can keep releasing new environments. At the same time, new types of exercises, new types of hardware. So it's amazing the way new developments keep happening in this technology. You'll never get bored. You're not only stuck with one set of routine or one gym. It's like there are always new stuff, new things to explore. So there are some amazing games out there. I'd like to just present a few cases. I think this is something great for you to try out if you have an Oculus Quest or an HTC headset, or if you're planning to buy one. Supernatural is one of the best games out there. Brilliantly done environments. And if you buy the app now, I think they are shipping this VR mat, which is more like a haptic mat. I mean, it's not exactly a haptic mat, but it does have those. You see the mat in the VR world. And it also has those levels, so you can turn and twist with that. And some amazing, beautifully created environments in Supernatural. I think it's the #1 VR for fitness app right now. There's also FitXR. So here, boxing, kickboxing, I think even weightlifting and many other sort of athletic sports are taken into consideration. So FitXR is another one to watch for. It's amazing. Also, some brilliant graphics in that, and brilliant environments. Beat Saber, my favorite and everyone's favorite. Like there are competitions now. There are some superhuman people. If you want to see some Beat Saber videos on YouTube, there are some superhuman people. I don't know how they do that, but the way in which they play Beat Saber, it's like having some, the Usain Bolt. Looking at Usain Bolt and thinking, how does he do that? It's like that, some amazing people doing Beat Saber. Of course, it's a age-old now one of the best games out there for fitness. It does wear you out. I mean, you would be really tired if you keep playing it. There's VZ Fit, which is like an integration of a hardware piece with your exercise bike. And so it's kind of integrated with your exercise bike, and they do ship a kit along with it, and you can go through these VR environments on your bike. And this is something which we also tried. which I'll show you after this. And this is an amazing new revolution. There was Climb, but now there's Climb 2, which is for any type of climbing, and not just rock climbing. It's also for rock climbing, for anywhere you want to build some strength in your arms. But the kind of environments which you will see are mind-blowing. So you literally feel you're doing rock climbing, or you're on a very impossible environment which you would have normally never experienced. So these are some cool examples. We also did some work. This is one of the examples we did for a retail brand, and we made our own system where we had put the cycling sensors with the HTC Vive, and it was quite good. I mean, it was great response. It was location based, so that's why we intend to soon have some sort of mainstream offering for consumers. Or this was very location based. This was only, I mean, now location based is in a different realm because of COVID and stuff, but still growing. So we're looking at having this for, and then of course we also did some at Jitex in Dubai, where we even made a scooter. So like a VR scooter, we did some with haptic gloves, and with the cycle, of course. So for us, we have been doing this only for the clients and as per bespoke projects, but eventually we plan to do this for the B2C level. You know, like that's the plan going forward. I'll talk a bit about VR for wellness, and for wellness, like fitness, wellness being kind of tied together. But the greatest applications of VR are areas like relaxation, where VR can actually transport the person into a different world, and that is very important, because sometimes you're just bogged down with daily routines, and all you need to do is just put a headset on and you can be transported into some beautiful environments. So there are applications like Relax VR, and there are some good companies out there which are trying to focus on only for VR relaxation as a separate activity. But it does work a lot. It works really well. And there's of course guided meditation, because now you're kind of capturing all your senses. You're not just limited to your visual sense, your visual, auditory, I mean, we haven't gone to olfactory, and there are these immersive rooms which they are trying to do with smell and everything. But even at the consumer level, if we talk of, there are some very nice applications out there which are for guided meditation, because otherwise guided meditation, if you see it on a TV, or if you just listen to audio, is not enough. Whereas through VR, it can take a next level. It can also help you with unhelpful behavior patterns. So there are specific applications which are designed to change your behavior patterns. So right from ADHD to other syndromes, which can be tracked really well. There were some good panelists who were talking about autism and other, which I will also cover a bit. But at least for your psychological guidance and help, there are some great applications out there. Pain management is another big thing. There has been research done for chemotherapy, for other painful instances which patients have to go through. And basically it's like the best balm, which can take your mind off with pain. There have been experiments with dental pain, where even your dental pain significantly reduces when you are immersed into a different environment. Great cases on clinical education, because, sorry, just go back. Yeah, so clinical education is also very important, because right from mixing drugs for nurse treatments, before actually trying out the mixing of chemicals and drugs, clinicians have been trained to explore this in VR, so they get trained much faster, or even with medical equipment. And this is a training and simulation case studies all over. So healthcare is really taking next level. But even with things like, there's a great case study of someone with some other defects. So the nurses were made to visualize how that person sees the world. And then they get a lot of sense of empathy after they themselves realize how that person sees the world. So things like that. So that's been great for nurse and clinician educations. And of course, for phobia treatments, like whatever you are scared of, you can see it in VR, and your brain will not distinguish whether it's real or not. And then it's actually being treated. Phobias are being treated, and it's being used for treatment of phobias out there. I'll just spend a minute on the overview effect for wellness. Now, here, this astronaut, the famous astronaut Sultan bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, I think from Saudi Arabia. Now, he said that after a point of time, he on the 5th day in space, he could only see the Earth. Now, this is like few of you might be knowing about the overview effect. It's this sense of overwhelming sense of empathy and going into this different, I would say a completely different perception of the world when you see it from space, and that changes you as a person. And many astronauts have actually experienced it when they went into space. Now, there have been studies where it was done in VR. So even if you see Google Earth VR, it gives you the little bit of that effect, but there have been focus studies made on it where you're shown how the Earth looks in VR from space, and that has actually created some changes in your behavior. So which is based on the overview effect. And Brave Mind was one experiment for PTSD for Marines and for basically the armed forces. Like most of these soldiers were facing great episodes of PTSD. They were suffering from it, but specific VR environments made and targeted for this changed their behavior pattern. They eventually got treated. So it was a great tool and a great aid for PTSD patients. Also with autism, I mean, in the last panel, there was an expert who talked about it. Like social skills in autism is another area where with autistics always facing issues with interacting with people, but they can do that very well in VR, and that changes their whole attitude and approach in the real world. So that's also something pretty interesting. There's an app called Trip, which can actually alter your state of mind, and they've come up with some new versions. They got investments, and so it can actually change your state of mind. It can give you these mild mind-altering states if you try it out. It's available. You can actually download it and see. So Trip is a great case study where how your perception, how your state of mind can be changed using these VR experiences. And similarly, Deep VR, I think I have so Deep, it's a meditative VR game, and even this is highly funded. It's going quite mainstream, and it's really amazing. So here you can control your breathing, and depending on your breathing, the environment changes. So basically, it's based on yogic practices, ancient yogic practices, and the environment around you shifts and changes with your breathing patterns, and that gives you it's a perfect mindfulness tool, right? It will take you away from your existing state of mind and makes you feel better. So it's like a complete virtual world which reacts on your breathing patterns. So worth checking out. Even this is something available which you can see. And of course, pain relief. I already talked about pain relief for chemotherapy patients, and there's been some great First Hand Technologies, one company which has been doing this research quite a lot on how pain relief studies can be really taken to the next level for wellness.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I'm done, Naveen, almost.
A minute to conclude, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. So yeah, I'm done. I think that was bang on. I think I'll leave the minute for if there are any questions. You can visit our website. If there's any way in which we can help in the XR domain, I'll be happy to assist. We are based out of Dubai. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Right? I still have that 1 minute. Unfortunately, even in the VR world, on the virtual world, we can't extend time. It's still, we have to be very disciplined with time. So yeah.
Sure, yes, there are in fact a lot of questions, but again, we would send that across to you. If not, you have access to the portal, so you could
Sure.
answer them there as well. Yeah, just that, yes, continuing with the topic that you've discussed in terms of VR in fitness and wellness. So we have the next session on healthcare. So yeah, I hope you join in and probably put in your thoughts and suggestions onto the question and answer session as well. Thanks so much,
Sure.
Badal. Indeed, an insightful presentation. I hope the audience
Thank you very much.
enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you.